Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing at my home track in Canada. Very excited for that here on the Cup Series side of things, as well as we have some Legend Series racing as well as an Xfinity Series race. So we waste no time going into the Legend Series before we get this race started. As you guys know, NASCAR 21 Ignite has been officially announced and it has an October 28th release date, which means one more season of the career mode is coming your way. You heard that correctly. I announced it on Twitter, and yeah, that's really it. We're going to be doing one more season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode because this season is going to be ending, before August is even over, and then we would have to go all of September and all of October without career mode, and I don't know what I would want to fill in between those basically 2 months. So I decided, well, you know what, we're going to do one final season after this, after a vote and whatnot, of this NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Got some plans in place with the storyline. I thought we were all done with making some roster changes and whatnot, but stay tuned. There's definitely going to be some stuff going on that we've already got planned out with a lot of help from Lanchion once again with designing some cars and whatnot that I cannot wait for you guys to see. But here focusing on the Legend Series race, 2 races left in the regular season, and we're right on the bubble area right now, but if we continue running like this right here, like we are P6 currently, about halfway through this race, well, we will easily make the playoffs. So I just have to rely on no new winner. Jonathan Cadell was currently out in front. Now as we were side by side there with Dale Jr., I actually put him in the outside wall out of turns 4, unfortunately, but we came straight through to the final lap because 5th place was as far as I got after that point. Now trying to get to Kyle Larson, it wasn't enough there as Jonathan Cadell would win here as we come through to cross the line to finish in the top 5. And after this point, everything gets very, very interesting, or extremely disappointing, I guess you could kind of put it. And you might be wondering, what am I talking about? So basically, I'm going to show it here in just a few moments' time on your screen. But basically, what happened was, for some reason, after this race ended, it simmed the next Legend Series race without it ever coming up in the game. So it said that the regular season finale basically was already complete because I was so confused when I came out of the race and saw the playoff grid was set when there's still one race left in the regular season. We end up missing the playoffs because of this glitch in the game. So we won't have a chance to win a championship. And there you see, it says we did Richmond. It doesn't have me in the finishing order, and it has David Schulthouse listed as the winner. So congrats to David, by the way, if you're watching. But yeah, I mean, I was so confused, and we missed the playoffs because of the game having this weird glitch. Michael Cozy Jr., though, manages to get into the playoffs as we come through. Into the Xfinity Series, we just kind of have to move on from that weird scenario now, as we had Paul Menard behind the wheel from Watkins Glen. It was very unfortunate that, of course, that happened because there's nothing we can do about it. That's just a full-on glitch in the game now, as hopefully that's something that's never going to happen in NASCAR 21 Ignite. Obviously, there's not going to be Xfinity Series or Truck Series in NASCAR Ignite. It's just focused on the Cup Series. You might be wondering, how is that going to affect my career mode plans? You see what I do right now here with this series? Well, I don't know how it's going to affect it quite yet. Obviously, I think that the game can be really good with the Cup Series only as long as the career mode is really good. So we, of course, don't have a whole lot of details on that career mode yet. But another thing you guys might have not noticed is in the NASCAR 21 career mode, you cannot start your own team. So you must race for a real team at all times. So that's another thing that's really interesting. What is the money going to be for in that game? That's definitely something we're going to have to pay attention to. But Paul Menard would come through to pick up the race victory for us here in Watkins Glen. So another win on the season in what's been probably his best ever season in NASCAR in general since he came into the sport, left, and then came back to our Going Racing team. And now that we have one more season left in the career mode, Paul Menard actually might not be returning next season. So stay tuned on that. Now as we come through into our home track here in Canada, we have a flipped razor paint scheme made by Lanchion. Usually where the green is, it's black, and where the black is, it's green. This time, like I said, the colors swapped here as like a little home track special paint scheme. Great job by Lanchion. Shout out to him. I'll put his YouTube link in the description as well as his Twitter now, as we had a very, very solid lap here in Canada. Now, a little bit of oversteer here and there, but the car overall felt pretty good, and it's going to show because we come through the penultimate turn. I made a bit of a mistake right there, but down through the final corner we get through here, very, very well, and we're easily going to beat our goal and cross the line with a 1:16.082. And for the second time ever in our Cup Series career, we qualify on pole. I believe the first and the only other time was at Sonoma Raceway, so it's taken a road course for us to get pole, but we get it by just about 3/10 over Austin Cindric here as you look at the rest of the qualifying order. So I was coming into this one thinking, okay, well, it's our final time at our home track here in Canada, but no, now we get one next season. But nonetheless, going for the win, of course, here today in Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and hopefully we can pull it off. Alright, boys, we won here last season. I don't see why we can't do it again today. The car obviously great, and we qualified way better than we did last season, so everything's lining up perfectly. Let's go get it. There you hear myself on the radio to the team here as we get ready to take the green flag from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. A big moment right here. Lewis Hamilton failed pre-race inspection. He will be starting at the back of the grid. Very unfortunate for him, especially going into this race. 3 races remain in the regular season. Hamilton, though, he's pretty safe right now on the playoff grid. And the points right now after the last episode aren't the closest. So I'm not going to have the playoff grid up in this episode. But if it gets closer after this, I'll bring it back now for the final 2 races of the regular season as we are underway here at our home track in Canada, side by side with Austin Cindric into turns 1. Actually, some contact. The 33 goes around. We already have a crash here in the first turn. The 17 of Christopher Bell involved as well. The AlphaTauri, Kyle Larson involved. Brandon Jones, Kyle Busch. A big moment in turns 1. What just happened? Caution comes out. You might be wondering how the heck that just happened. By the time the camera or the cars came into the camera frame, the 33 was already crashing. Here's what happened. So into turns 1, I drive down into the 33. He took a weird entrance. He was way closer to my door than I anticipated going into the corner. I thought he was going to be a lot lower. And Eric Jones followed his line, but then whoever was third in line, I think it was the 17 car, had the correct line into turns 1. So a weird, awkward moment to start this race and a lot of damage to that 33 car, but we get back underway here. And now only 2 laps to go in stage 1. Only 5 laps here in stage 1 and stage 2 as well. They were 3 wide behind us, but not the turns 1 I was looking for. I played turns 1 a lot differently that time, considering what had literally just happened. There's actually get into the quarter panel of Chase Elliott. Cindric has fought his way back up into 3rd place. Here he comes out of nowhere now as we try to fight with that 9 of Chase Elliott, just like we did last season when Elliott was our teammate here at Gordon Hendrick Motorsports. We gave him the bump and run on the final lap of this race to win here at our home track. So is that going to happen again today, or are we going to be able to run away with it? Well, we're going to try and put some pressure on the back of the 9 right now. We're going to try and look up that right hand side here. Now is actually, we go around, we spin the car out, and a big shunt from myself right there as I get it in reverse, get it back going here. We're going to have to cut through the grass. I'm surprised I didn't get a corner cutting or course penalty for that right there, but we get away back still in the top 20 at least. Alex Bowman there just behind myself. We know he's in need of a very, very good points if he wants to get back in this fight, but he's also got myself at Daytona to help him out for a potential race win. We're going into Daytona with the mindset of not winning that race whatsoever. We're trying to help our teammate of Alex Bowman pick up the victory there like we tried in Talladega and unfortunately failed, but trying to just get back into a rhythm here. Only a lap to go this time by in stage 1 into the left side of Chastain. Did not expect such a large checkup right there from the Trackhouse driver. Some more contact on the exit of the final turn, but we get in front of him now, back up into P13. But a wild start to this race so far here as we're not wasting any time now. A lunge up the right hand side of the number 12 of Chase Briscoe. We get past him, up into 12th place we go, and now we would run down Joey Logano here as we're heading down this long back straightaway here on this final lap of stage 1. Chase Elliott cruising to a stage victory right now. Bit of a block there from the 22 of Joey Logano. I'm going to give him a big push there for the time being, but now we're going to try and look to the left-hand side of him. It's going to be side by side as we head down towards that sweeping right turn towards that final couple corners. Now is contact with Logano. He's going to hook me in the right rear. Now we're going to go down the track, and Logano is going to go spinning behind us. We go off track from the contact as well. Logano gets it saved. He comes back on track, and so do we. And a big moment here at the end of the first stage. Chase Elliott wins stage 1 in what was just 5 laps of absolute chaos, it felt like here, as we have a bit of a moment on the exit of the final turn, but we cross the line to finish P11 in stage 1. After all of that, we were only 1 spot short of stage points, but unbelievable. Now turn 1, we had a crash on the very first lap. We spun ourselves out going for the lead on Chase Elliott on the restart, and then we have that big moment right there with Joey Logano. I think we've had more drama in the first 5 laps of this race than we have in like the last 3 races combined. It's been unbelievable now, as for some reason we gained 7 positions on the pit stop by taking 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel. And for the start of stage 2, we are on row number 2, surrounded by the McLaren Racing team as it's time to get amped in Canada. up into second place there after the AMP segment here. A very strong first and opening lap for us in the second stage. Now trying to close in on the back of Chase Elliott, but we're not going to do it by cutting through the grass like that now, as we try to just stay in a rhythm and not just make those kind of mistakes. And sure enough, we would get close to the back of the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro there from McLaren Racing Team of Chase Elliott there. A bit of a slide for him into that left corner, but behind us we got Sam Mayer, Elliott's teammate. McLaren running very strong once again here today, but it took to lap 3 here, coming to 2 to go in the stage, to really get an opportunity to make a pass on the number 9 car of Chase Elliott. Right here, we're going to make a big move, a bold statement right there if we can pass him around the outside, but now we have the preferred line into the final turn, but we're still going to be side by side. Not the exit I was looking for. A tremendous exit for the McLaren driver now, and past teammate of ours and now current rival, it feels like now, as we do get past the number 9 car of Chase Elliott and take over the lead here in Canada. Trying to make a statement here, just take the lead and run away with it as I go up on 2 wheels for a brief moment, but fortunately that didn't turn into anything. But by the time we came through down this long back straightaway approaching the final lap of the stage, we had opened up a nice gap now, and we were comfortably in front of that 9 car of Chase Elliott, as well as the 66 of Sam Mayer, who had closed up on the back of Elliott now, as it seems like Elliott's a bit off the pace, and now he's definitely off the pace, because crashing goes Chase Elliott hard into the barrier. He is done for the day. No caution is going to come out, but Elliott just had a huge tire blowout, and around he goes into the barrier. A hard impact. I lost a bunch of time because I was so focused on what was going on behind me watching that incident, that Sam Mayer gets within about half a second or so of us as we started this final lap. So a big moment right there, and it just adds on to this chaotic race here in Canada now, as we're already opening though back up that gap to that number 66 of Sam Mayer, just cruising to a stage of victory, trying to make no mistakes. But I was really confident at this point, as you could imagine, because our biggest competitor crashed out of the race after blowing a tire. So I really didn't know what to expect going into stage 3. I felt like we're in a position now where we could just have a dominant stage 3, lead every lap and run away with it. And if it does stay green in stage 3, there will still be a green flag pit stop. That might be the one concern for us now, as we always are in concern of those potential green flag pit stops, because I'm so bad at those with speeding penalties and whatnot. But the field light does come on here on the final lap of stage 2. Fortunately, that really doesn't matter here, as we lead the way down into the sweeping right-hander, down towards that penultimate left-hander, and you got that 66 of Sam Mayer continuing to fall back. And at this point, I wasn't even pushing the car, and we were opening up the gap, so I was very confident now as we came through the final turn and down this front straightaway. We are going to come through to win stage 2 and pick up yet another playoff point, setting ourselves up for a better opportunity to close up that gap, especially to Chase Elliott, because right now Elliott leads the regular season point standings, and we have been kind of inching closer and closer. Then it'll kind of stretch out again, but this is going to be a big opportunity with Elliott DNFing today to get really close to him, hopefully, in the regular season championship battle. So we have to look at it that way as well, is we could get so much more of a playoff point opportunity if we can pull off that regular season title now, as we're gonna come into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires here as we get ready to go green for the start of the 3rd and final stage here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, which is now underway. Less than 10 laps to go in this race, 8 to be exact. Bubba Wallace up here in the mix. He's been strong at road courses this season, winning the most recent road course at Watkins Glen International over myself in a photo finish actually, but obviously without lap traffic he had that race won anyway. 3 wide behind us between Mayer, Bubba, as well as Todd Gilliland. Now as I have a big moment there, getting sideways off of the curb, contact with the 38. There goes Bubba. Here comes the 38, sideways into the grass we go with the 66 of Sam Mayer. Everybody keeps it straight somehow, but we all came together. The 66 still sliding off the track. He gets back on now as we go down towards the left-hander, down to P16 out of nowhere, and that was just a mistake on my own, as I went too wide. I caught the curb when I was on the throttle, and it immediately kicked the car to the left, and I tried to, of course, correct it, and unfortunately we pulled too far back, and next thing you know, the 38 of Todd Gilliland is there. I run into him. Bubba Wallace was very fortunate to not get cleaned out, but now Bubba Wallace leads the way after that. We were wondering what could potentially get in front of us to take a win away. Well, we just found it now as I give a big push to Chastain after he threw a big block on myself there down that long back straightaway here, as we're going to try and just work our way to the top 10. And I knew at this point already, with coming to 7 laps to go, our chances of winning this under green flag conditions we're really low. It's going to be tough to make up the gap we just lost there during that big incident that somehow sent nobody actually around, and of course no caution came out either. Now as we're going to lunge up the right hand side of Kyle Larson as well and try to work our way up into that 11th position, but a little bit frustrated with myself, as you could imagine, by making a mistake like that. But now we came through to lap 18 here down this back straightaway on that right hand side of Joey Logano. He pushed us into the grass a little bit down the back straightaway. Fortunately, that doesn't really turn into anything right there. We continue side by side into now that sweeping right-hander, and he doesn't really pinch us down too much right behind the AlphaTauri of Brandon Jones. And Logano's going to go up his left-hand side. I said, you know what? I'll go up the right-hand side 3 wide through the penultimate turn into the final turn, and I messed up my corner there, of course, with that awkward entry from 3 wide, and that allows the Pennzoil Ford Mustang driver for Penske Racing of Logano to get to our back bumper as we go down into turns 1, and behind us, Logano's going to go for a spin for the second time today. He's saves it once again, and it just adds on to the insanity of this race there now, as it's going to be a bit of a hit in the points for the 22 of Joey Logano. But now we get back into that rhythm, trying to work our way forwards. We get to the now left side and in clear now of that 78 of CJ McLaughlin up into P7, as we were now with just 5 laps to go in this race. As a caution though comes out, and that is going to force a 2-lap dash here from Canada, and you're not going to believe who the caution is for. Look up ahead. You see smoke, and it's pouring out of the leader of Bubba Wallace in the DoorDash Toyota Camry there in that 2311 car. Unbelievable scenes now as Bubba Wallace is going to be out of this race, leading the way in the final 5 laps. Engine expires. After the pit stops, we managed to gain 4 positions. Some drivers gained 8 spots. Custer gained 11 positions, and here we are on row number 2 as a green flag is back out, and all of a sudden we have Keselowski, who's trying to win his way into the playoffs. Derek Kraus, who's in on points right now but looking for his first career win, but it's 3 wide with Eric Jones into turns 1. The McLaren driver looking for his first win of the season as well. He's being just as aggressive as anybody else here now, as this has been an unbelievable race. A mistake for myself there, and now we're 3 wide in the middle between the 16 of Haley and the number 42 of Tyler Reddick, who's having a great run here today for Chip Ganassi Racing. Now some rumors about him potentially leaving that team in the future of this career mode, so stay tuned on that, but we easily are going to get past that number 41 of Brad Keselowski, move up into P3. What a race it has been so far, and it's going to come down to a 1-lap dash between myself, Eric Jones, as well as the number 45 of Derek Kraus. Now as we approach this final lap out of the final turn, no pressure from behind. White flag in the air for Derek Kraus, who looks for that first career win here in the Cup Series now, as he was strong for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series multiple seasons ago, and now he has a chance to become a Cup Series winner there. As I made a move to the left-hand side of Jones, I didn't want to be on the right side into this corner, and we make the right call. We get past that number 7 Arrow McLaren, and now set our sights on the number 45 of Derek Kraus here, as we don't have much time to get the job done. Basically, the only option we have is to get to him and just probably drive right through him, because it doesn't look like we're going to get to him until maybe the final turn at the absolute earliest even now, as we head down this little sweeping left-hander into these very short and slow speed right corners. Now this is one of my favorite parts of the track, and we get a really good section of corners and gets us closer to Derek Kraus. We're within punt range now, and that was the main thing. If I can get close enough to punt him, then we got to take it here as we go down this long back straightaway for the final time, and we get closer and closer to the back of that number 45 car, within 2 car lengths now as we go into the sweeping right-hander. He breaks a lot deeper than myself, but we get a little bit closer here now as we head down towards that penultimate turn here. Now it's actually, there's trouble behind us, so Austin Cindric, he goes around along with the 83 Red Bull of Christian Eggers and the 42 of Reddick Piles, and he goes around. The caution comes out, race is over, and Derek Kraus wins in what has been the craziest race of the season and potentially career mode here in NASCAR Heat 5. Unbelievable. Derek Kraus is a first-time winner. He was already in the playoffs, so that doesn't affect the playoff grid. But look at this right here into the penultimate turn. I actually had a chance. I got side by side with Derek Kraus, and then right here we come together, and that messed me all over, and that was it. And then the caution would come out right there. Unbelievable finish here in Canada, but I just couldn't believe it. 1 spot short of a win in our home track to go back-to-back like we did with that win last season. But what a race. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That was crazy from start to finish, of course, with a crash on the very first lap, very first turn, and then we end up having a caution coming out out of the final turn on the final lap. So overall, crazy episode here from the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. The Truck Series, by the way, the playoff series, or the playoff grid is set for that series, and that will start in the next episode. And the Xfinity Series still has 4 races remaining in the regular season, but the Cup Series has only 2 races to go in the regular season, and that comes at New Hampshire Motor Speedway as well as Daytona. So 2 very different racetracks now, as we're going to, of course, get a look at that playoff grid going into New Hampshire. Alex Bowman is out by 32 points, and so is Chase Briscoe, and then Todd Gilliland is out by 33. So Kyle Busch, as of right now, is inside the playoffs, but is it going to stay that way, especially with Daytona coming up here shortly? It's going to come down to the wire as well. Christopher Bell not completely safe yet either with 538 points. He's about 60 or so points to the good. But as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode, and I would of course like to say thank you to the members of the channel here of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, Speed Demon 341, as well as Illinois Diecast. I appreciate you guys' support so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.